I think everybody has a right to express themselves, you know, in that regard. But I don't think it's good to be a distraction to your team. I don't think it's good to use the team as the platform. I totally disagree with that. You know, not his protest, but I just think there's a right way to do things. And I don't think two wrongs make a right. Never have, never will. And I think that it just creates more divisiveness, more division.
Shannon, what's your reaction to his comments?
Skip, Joy, I know Coach Swinney. Like him. One of his mentors, Woody McCorvey, heard my Hall of Fame speech. He got in touch with me through James Trapp. Coach Swinney asked me would I come speak to his team. This was about 3 years ago. We've been close ever since. Talked to Coach Swinney last night for about 19 minutes and 22 seconds exactly. And I don't think we got any further. I think we're just as far apart at the start of the conversation as when I hung up the phone and wished him well on Sunday. On Saturday.
Even farther apart?
Because I'm disappointed because he used it. He's like, Shannon, we have a black president. He used a lot of the old antiquated argument that we see in today's. We have a black president that served 2 terms. We have black CEOs. We have black quarterbacks. So everything's okay. The very black president that's giving his State of the Union and a sitting congressman yells, "You lie," into a live mic. The same black president that steps off a plane in Arizona and Jan Brewer, the governor, I think she was at the time, points her finger in his face. A standing United States president of America. See, when you take that, let's just factor this in. Let's just say for the sake of argument, they have a valid point that use this antiquated theory. Black president, black quarterback, black CEOs. 34 million African Americans in the U.S. What's that population of those people that he's talking about? So what about the other 33.5 million people that are not millionaires, that are not CEOs, that are not the president, that's not a professional athlete or an entertainer? What about them? What about the ones that do not get applauded for what they do, but get looked down and frowned upon for who they are? I like to judge people on their own individual merits because someone does something to me, I don't automatically assume everybody's like that. This is what I ask, Skip. If a police officer were to pull you and I over on different occasions, and he walks to your car and asks for your driver's license, proof of insurance, registration, I would expect him to walk to my car, not with his hand on his gun, and ask me this in the same polite manner. And if you ask him a question and he answer it, I would like to ask him a question and him not tell me to shut my mouth. I'm gonna tell you a story. My homeboy called me, he says, "Homeboy, it's funny that you were talking about this." He said, I was in a store, and I'm not gonna call the store's name. He said, I was behind 2 white people. And he said, they were ringing out. The lady asked him, did they have a coupon card? The gentleman said, no. She said, that's okay, I'm gonna give you the discount anyway. The white lady was next. Ma'am, do you have a coupon card? No, I'm gonna give you the discount anyway. My homeboy stepped to the counter. They didn't ask him, did he have a coupon card? She didn't tell him she was gonna give him the coupon anyway, give him the discount anyway. So what was that about? Oh, she just forgot. So some will say it's because she forgot. She was just, really? Is that? Coach Swinney, he quoted Dr. King. I said, you contextualizing Dr. King in today. Think about it. The man that you say was so educated, I think he went to Boston University, so articulate, he along with Churchill, might be the greatest orators of the 20th century. Could speak so eloquently, and people would just be in awe and like, oh my God, is this God actually speaking? Spit on, stabbed, beat, jailed. A peaceful protest, locking arms, showing unity. And what did it get him? And not only did it get him beaten, not only did it get him spit on, not only did it get him stabbed in jail, it ultimately cost him his life. So I'm trying to figure out, what is it, if it's peaceful, not rioting, we're not destroying our own communities, we're doing it peacefully, and it's still a problem. So in actuality, what I really would like to know, what is the real problem? What is it that you really have a problem with? Because he said, well, Shannon, I think maybe they should have a press conference. I said, well, Coach, if your team's not playing good, do you hold a press conference? Or do you make them go out there and get it right? Ain't nobody listening to Skip. If somebody comes in, they're talking about race on the press conference, click, change the channel, or the TV goes off. Protest, dissent is supposed to be uncomfortable because I gotta force you to talk. I've tried talking. I've tried it, but you won't listen. So I must take a stance. And then when you say, well, what is he doing? Then I get to tell you. So now I have your attention. We're talking about issues that I think that are fundamentally wrong in our society. And I would like to speak on them and have them addressed. But if all you want to do is, well, it's not peaceful, this is not the right, well, when is the right time? When can we start talking about the 400 years? When is the right time? Tell me the right time, what time of day, what day of the week, what month of the year, and I'll make sure I'll be ready because I don't really know what else to do now.
Okay, I hear you. Again, I am sympathetic to everything you just said, but I'm going to play Dabo here just for a second. I'm going to ask you a question that I think he would like to ask you right now.
Absolutely.
And that is, Shannon Sharpe, in the United States of America, have we made any progress racially since 1865? Any progress at all? Do you see any?
Yes.
Is there any positive to how far we've come, if anywhere?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's a lot of progress that's been made, but people would like to think because we have black millionaires and a black president, we've done our part. This is as far as we need to take it. You got a black, listen, growing up, my grandfather used to say, boy, you can be anything you want to be, but you can never be president because they never putting a black man in the White House.
Correct.
So
I got it.
So now we tend to think if you're on television, you can play a sport, you can make millions of dollars, you can be a CEO or entertainer, and now we got a black president.
Okay.
What are you complaining about now, black people?
Got it. Okay. But there was one key difference in what Dabo said as opposed to what Jerry Jones said. At least Dabo prefaced his personal view of protesting the anthem by saying, I'm okay with whatever my players want to do. If they make that choice, that's their personal choice. So at least he said, I'm good with that if that's what you choose. If you want to speak your heart or show your heart by protesting the flag and the anthem, you go ahead. But my personal feeling is that two wrongs don't make a right.
And he reiterated that to me on the phone too, Skip.
And he's also saying that the two wrongs he's talking about, the one wrong is everything you just said. So he's admitting or sort of acknowledging publicly there is a big wrong out there, white cops killing unarmed black men. Right. And the second wrong, in his personal view, is protesting it this way as opposed to in a press conference that you said people would click off. And you're probably right about that. We would not be having this conversation if Colin Kaepernick had not started the conversation by starting a brush fire across the internet by saying, no, I'm going to sit for the anthem. Okay?
Let me ask you this, Skip. And he used the word press conference. So let me ask you this. If Coach Swinney is so concerned, why haven't he had a press conference to address these issues?
Which issue?
He said Colin Kaepernick could have had a press conference and said this is what's going on. Why hasn't he?
I don't know. If his black leadership council of players came to him and said, we want to have a sort of a town hall type press conference and we all want to address it the way some of the most powerful NBA players addressed it at the ESPYs, that sort of thing, would he'd say, be my guest, right?
If I have to encourage you to speak up, I'm asking you to do something probably you wouldn't necessarily have done. I want you to take the initiative. He said he knows there's things that's going on that's wrong. He knows, yet he hasn't had that press conference. I love Coach Swinney, and I told him this. I said, Coach, Coach, if the majority of the people felt like you and thought like you, a lot of what's going on in our society would not exist, but they don't. So now, I said, Coach, when you say black president and CEOs and black quarterbacks, you reaffirm and solidify what the masses are saying. Is that, look how far we've come, Shannon. From 1776, the Constitution, 1865, end of the Civil War, Emancipation Proclamation, to 1964 Voting Rights Act, blah, 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 or so forth and so on. Look how far we've come, Shannon. We good. We ain't nowhere as close to home.
Okay, bottom line. If I respect your First Amendment right to say what you just said,
yes,
do you respect his to say what he said?
Absolutely.
Okay, so again, we have a polarizing difference of opinion here, but I do respect Dabo's right, even as a head football coach at Clemson, to say, he made it very personal. My personal view is, I don't buy this way to protest. There are other ways to do this. Okay, so you have to respect it, even if you vehemently disagree with it. I'm good with it. I disagree with it too. But I think he couched it correctly by saying, I respect my players' right to do whatever they want to do.
Skip, if he says, I respect my players' right and their First Amendment right, I just wish I hope they don't do it here because of the platform and left it there. But then once he starts trying to black president, CEOs, millionaires, black quarterbacks, now you're trying to reconfirm and solidify like the job is done. The job is nowhere close to being done. And we're gonna continue this push to get justice for all. And that's what this movement, I think Colin Kaepernick has tried to generate discussion about. It's not about asking for more. It's not about, well, Colin, you're good. Shannon, you're on television. You got a black president. You got guys making, entertainers. No, that's such a small, infinitesimal small, 0.000 small to the majority that's undereducated, that's in poverty, that has lack of health care, that's mistreated in our society. So all I'm saying is, look, and I said this yesterday, all blacks are not thugs. There are some black people that dislike people that doesn't look like them. All cops are not bad. I got friends that were policemen that works in the correction facility. I get it. But if you do something and I know you're doing wrong, and I don't say, Skip, come on now, Skip, you need to stop this. This is wrong. And I don't call you, I'm complicit in your actions. So if I'm complicit, I'm condoning your behavior. So you have no incentive to stop. And I just want when the police, when they do something wrong, don't stand behind the police union. Call the guy and say, this is not us.
You got it.
But instead of that, you want to bind together this blue wall and just stand lock, stock, and barrel. We got good men. Not all your men are good. Not all blacks are good. Not all whites are bad. So and I always say this, there's no such thing as all and every. So let's just move that from our vocabulary. All police are, no, they're not. All whites, no, they're not. All blacks, no, they're not. They're good, bad, and everybody. But when the good does not try to intervene, or when the bad does something wrong and they turn a blind eye, no, that's not okay.
So would you have preferred that Dabo Swinney, as the head football coach at Clemson University, had kept his personal thoughts to himself?
I respect Colin Kaepernick's right to the First Amendment. If my players were to take a knee, although I would not agree with it, I would respect their rights to do that because that is constitutionally right. That is protected free speech. That's free expression. Nothing more, nothing less. But then he takes it a step further and says, but look at the blacks that making money. Colin Kaepernick.
He did that to you personally on the phone, though. He
Yes.
didn't do it in the press conference,
Yes.
right in front of the media.
So, and that's what I said, Coach, you can't do that. You can't look at a few and say everything is okay with the majority, because that's not how it works.
It's not about asking for more. It's about asking for equal.
Equal. That's it.